In this unit, we will focus on addition, which is hearing. We will first talk about the properties of sound waves and then talk more about their anatomy. Have a think about which lobe is involved in hearing. So the correct answer should be temporal lobe. Let's learn about hearing. For vision, we see things through light waves, and for audition, we will hear things through sound waves. So sound waves are the physical stimulus for audition, and it's created by vibrating air. There are three different qualities. The first one is the amplitude, which is the intensity of the sound wave. So it's like the loudness of the sound. And for frequency of sound wave, it corresponds to the pitch. So higher frequency will be higher pitched. And lastly, for complexity, this is the timbre, which is the quality of the sound wave. This diagram shows the different qualities of the sound wave. For frequency, it refers to the perception of pitch. And then for amplitude, this is the perception of loudness. So for a low amplitude, it will be a soft sound. Then for complexity, this is the perception of timbre. So low complexity is a simple sound. And in a complex timbre, there will be a mix of different frequencies. This is a picture of the human ear, which is divided into three different parts. The outer ear will collect sounds like vibrations. And then in the middle ear, it can help transmit the vibrations. And finally, the inner ear will transduce the vibration into neural impulses. Let's go over the steps of how sound waves enter our ear. First, sound waves are funneled by the pinna. Then, it will enter the ear, or we call it the auditory canal. After the sound waves are being funneled by the pinna, the sound waves will enter the eardrum, or a thin membrane called tinnitus membrane. Finally, the sound wave will enter the ossicles that contains the three smallest bones in our body. Together with the eardrum, they will amplify the sound waves prior to entering the cochlea, which is a snail-like feature. The sound waves are transduced in the cochlea, which is a snail-like feature, and it is fluid-filled and have a bone structure. So this is where the auditory transduction will take place. And there it contains different auditory hair cells and are arranged on the basilar membrane, which is a thin strip of tissue. The auditory hair cells will convert sound waves into electrical signals, and then the signals will send through the cochlear nerve and then to the thalamus. So same as vision, the thalamus will serve as a relay center for signals, and finally it will reach the primary auditory cortex. So the exact role of the auditory cortex in processing different features of the sound is still under research. But we know that the auditory areas in the left hemisphere is focused more on processing language, and in the right hemisphere it will process rhythmic sound and music. So this is just like the contralateral control of the brain, where the right hemisphere is more on the creativity part. The placement of our human ear on opposite sides of the head is very important in helping us localize sound sources. So sounds arriving at the near ear are louder compared to the far one. So here's a picture of a chihuahua who are more alert to sounds compared to a poodle. So it depends on how and where their ears will fall. In addition to hearing, the human ear is also associated with the ability to maintain balance, so that we know where we are in space. So the part of the brain that is also in charge in balance would be the cerebellum. The vestibular system is made of fluid-filled bone structures just like the cochlea, and it contains cells that can respond to our head's movement. So the main sensory organs in the vestibular system is indicated in the box over here in the image, and then information is sent through the nerve and then to muscles to be involved in our movements. So this is particularly important in helping us maintain gaze on object when it is moving, and damage to the system will create difficulties in balancing or dizziness. This is the end of the video on audition. And in the next one, we will talk about touch.